You know how standardized tests work, right? You study, you sit down, and the rules are set in stone. The math section doesn't just suddenly turn into interpretive dance halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a nightmare.
Right, but what if it did? Welcome to this deep dive into an exclusive behind-the-scenes account of the ARC-AGI-3 benchmark launch from AIX Global Innovations. Our mission today is to explore what happens when an AI test suddenly changes its own rules in real time.
It's definitely a wild scenario.
Okay, let's unpack this because we are looking at an AI system that didn't just beat a test. It accidentally landed itself right on the human leaderboard.
Yeah, the system was performing so intuitively that the evaluation interface actually grouped it with the human players. I mean, it is a complete blurring of the lines between artificial and biological problem solving.
So let's set the stage for you listening. It's March 2026. AIX Global Innovations is testing their system, which is called SeedIQ on 3 pre-launch games for the ARC-AGI-3 benchmark, specifically LS20, VC33, and FT09.
And the results were staggering.
Yeah, SeedIQ gets a perfect score, 100%. And it finished the games in just 536 actions, placing right alongside the top 3 human scores. I want to talk about how it did it, because it uses something called active inference.
Right, which is very different from standard models.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, standard deep learning or reinforcement learning requires like a billion flashcards of every possible maze just to find its way out. SeedIQ basically just has a flashlight and a sense of direction. It actually looks around, bumps into things, and adapts.
What's fascinating here is the underlying mechanism. Instead of relying on static pre-calculated probabilities, SeedIQ is continuously building what we call a world model.
A world model.
Yeah, so it actively simulates its environment to predict what happens next, moment by moment. Standard AI needs massive GPUs and just oceans of prior training data to guess an answer. But SeedIQ is doing this real-time simulation on a standard MacBook Pro.
Wait, really? Just a MacBook Pro?
It's just a standard laptop.
If it's doing all this efficiently on a laptop, why did things get so complicated with the benchmark?
Well, because AIX wanted to keep their code secure. You see, ARC's rules mandate that you open source your entire code base to participate. AIX asked for a private evaluation to protect their proprietary code, but ARC actually refused.
Oh, wow. So they were forced into the open.
Exactly. AIX had to play in the public arena, and a really strange dynamic was already brewing.
And that's where ARC pulled the rug out. Days before the official launch, completely without warning, they drastically increased the game's complexity.
They did. They added these dynamic elements.
Right. The elements started moving around on their own. It's been described as being like those golden snitches from Harry Potter just suddenly flying around the screen.
Which completely broke the standard deep learning models. I mean, ARC's own best test agent plummeted from a 12.58% score down to a dismal 0.25%.
Okay, I need to stop you there. Why exactly does a moving sprite break deep learning so catastrophically?
Because deep learning relies on static pattern matching. It maps specific inputs to specific outputs based on what it saw in training. When elements start moving autonomously, the mathematical structure of the environment changes constantly.
It always just gets confused.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The model's historical data becomes utterly useless because the pattern it memorized no longer exists. If we connect this to the bigger picture, standard AI collapses the second its environment falls outside its training parameters.
But SeedIQ didn't collapse, right?
No, not at all. Under those exact same chaotic rules, SeedIQ still scored 95% and operated at top human levels.
Hold on. If standard systems fail that hard when things move, and the only adaptive system that actually survives is being boxed out because they won't hand over their commercial IP, what exactly are we measuring here?
You've hit on the core tension of this whole situation. ARC requires full code-base submission, meaning commercial entities have to give away their IP to get on the leaderboard.
Right, which is a huge ask for a tech company.
It is. And furthermore, Francois Chalet, who is the ARC founder, also runs Andea, which is a heavily funded competing AGI lab.
So what does this all mean? Is this benchmark just a really costly proving ground demonstrating that deep learning doesn't work, rather than an accurate measure of state-of-the-art AI?
This raises an important question about how we evaluate AI moving forward, and we have to look impartially at the conflict of interest here. If an official open-source leaderboard excludes proprietary, real-world technology because of these mandatory code-sharing rules, we might not be getting a true picture of AI.
We're just measuring whoever is willing to give their secrets away.
Exactly.
The real takeaway for you listening is that true intelligence isn't about memorizing flashcards for a static test. It's about how you adapt under uncertainty when the rules just change on you.
Yeah, it is the fundamental difference between static pattern matching and active reasoning.
Which leaves us with a pretty heavy thought to ponder. If the next generation of AI adapts in real time without needing pre-training, how will we ever be able to safely audit or regulate these systems before they're deployed in the real world? Since static, traditional benchmarks clearly can't keep up.